Right. So our next topic is about Chloe Zhao, and she reacts to her reaction towards Eternals being called one of the worst MCU movies. Now, before I get into the article, I think I'm the only one here that's watched Eternals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Disney Plus is coming in 2 weeks.
I didn't like it.
No.
And I think I touched on with you guys why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
There were certain things that I won't go into here. You know why? That I didn't like the film. Probably the only MCU film I didn't like, and it looks like a lot of people felt that way. But let's dive into the article, which is from Screen Rant. And it says, Eternals director Chloe Zhao responds to claims she directed one of the worst MCU movies, telling people to watch the film when it comes to Disney+. Director Chloe Zhao reacts to Eternals being called one of the worst movies in MCU. Eternals was the third film in MCU's Phase 4 following Black Widow and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The 10 Eternals, Ajax, Cersei, Icarus, Ring Kingo, Sprite, Phaistos, Makari, Druig, Gilgamesh, and Thena were sent to Earth 7,000 years ago to protect the planet from deviant attacks. The team was slowly integrated into society after believing that the deviants had become extinct. Zhao had the tough task of introducing not one, but 10 new heroes into the MCU. The characters also were not well known, making her job even harder. Unfortunately, the Eternals received mixed to negative reviews upon release, leading to many calling it one of the worst additions to the MCU. Out of all 27 MCU movies, Eternals currently has the lowest tomato meter score on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 78 audience score. This had made some question if Eternals is really as bad as everyone says. Zhao is well aware of Eternals critics, as she recently posted a screenshot of a Rotten Tomatoes post on her Instagram story. Rotten Tomatoes post asks if Eternals really deserves to be ranked at the bottom of the MCU, with Zhao responding, "Does it?" The director then goes on to say Eternals releases on Disney Plus on January 12th, with a director's commentary and special features. It talks about what she tried to do with the film and blah blah blah. Yeah, don't need to go into that. So guys, listen, like I said, I was a bit, before I went to watch Eternals, I was a bit skeptical whether I went to go and watch it or not, because even I, as an MCU stalwart, and I'm talking about MCU in terms of the comics, I didn't know much about the Eternals.
Right.
I knew Thanos, for instance, was an Eternal, and they do touch on that in the movie.
Okay.
Is he like fully Eternal? Because he's a Titan.
He's a mutant Eternal.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why he has the powers that he has. Because his brother is Eros, who is played by that One Direction guy in the post-credit scene.
Harry.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Harry's
and they did it in such a way that the only good thing to come out of Eternals was the voice of Mahershala Ali as Blade at the end.
Yeah.
That was the only good thing to come out. I didn't really like Eternals. I'm not saying it was... It's not... I don't know. I wouldn't say it's not a bad movie, but it kind of is in my eyes. But anyway, a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe not the majority, but a lot of people do feel the same way. I know you guys haven't watched it, but based on what you've heard about it, what do you think about this? And are you going to watch it on Disney Plus when it comes out or not?
I'm going to give it a look. I mean, I'm hearing two different sides of the coin on it. I mean, I'm hearing that it's an absolute bag of trash, and then I'm hearing that it's actually, quite good. I mean, at the moment, comicbookmovie.com are saying that Disney are pushing for Oscars for the damn film.
Yeah, I did hear that even before it was released from Kevin Feige, which...
Okay.
So
it's
not
not that
about
kind of...
Best Picture, Best Director,
Yeah, no way.
blah.
No
I mean,
way.
yes, it has got an Oscar-winning director in Nomadland, which she was.
Yeah,
Chloe
Zhao, yeah.
But the film, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes got a 47%. It's not,
ouch.
It's not loved universally at the moment. Well, critics definitely didn't turn out for it, like they did turn out for Venom 2, which was weird. But the audiences are liking it, so I'm a mixed bag. I mean, what I do take from the article that I like is Zhao's response. Have you read the response yet? But I thought Zhao's response was brilliant. Like, you know, does it? I like the fact she's just been open and like, you know, she's not coming out and going like, hold up, I made the best thing. She's not been ultra defensive. She's like, okay, let me know. She's open to discussion. Like,
I do like that. Yeah.
You know, I like that. That speaks a lot about her as a person and how mature she is as a director, and just the class person she is. But am I pushed to see Eternals still? I'm gonna check it out when it comes out on Netflix. I'm on Disney Plus at some point. I still haven't watched Black Widow yet, so bad for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be looking at it at some point.
Well, please watch Black Widow first.
I'll watch Black Widow first
because that's a much better film.
I should finish off Loki, but that's another thing. But
house party.
Yeah, house party and trading places, and you know.
Yeah, let's not.
The first 15 years of my life, and it's been re-thought out. But
my show.
Yeah. Shut your face.
I was told December 12th. We're all in January.
Remember, this man's a perfectionist. You're lucky if you get it at the end of this year.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah. But I forgot about your damn show. I'm working on that one.
Don't worry,
it's coming. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, am I surprised that it got that backlash? No, we saw the trailers for it. I mean, the conversation we had together was,
what?
It doesn't look like the MCU film we want to go and see.
Yeah.
There's something about the feeling of it. I know trying to push, it's a serious, epic take on the story of emotion and love and humanity and I get that, but
no, that's not the MCU.
It's not
the MCU. But even if you want to do it
like that,
the way they did it wasn't good.
Didn't work.
It didn't work.
And the thing is, just like Campion big you up again. He touched on this in regards to when he comes out of a Marvel film and then when he came out of watching Macbeth, like the difference in like you go to watch a Marvel film, you know what you're going to see from a Marvel film.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to watch, for all intents and purposes, Oscar potential material.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to enjoy yourself for 2 to 2.5 hours, go on a thrill ride. Hopefully the writing is good. Hopefully the set pieces are great. That's what you're looking for. And what I think the problem with attaching Zhao to it was, it's like, oh, she just come off the back of making Nomadland. That's won an Oscar. She's going to take us into a different stratosphere now. You know?
And I think you're right, because that's what they marketed this film on. It's being directed by Chloe Zhao. John Campia is one that's very guilty of this, because every time her name came up, what would he say? The reigning, defending, because he loves his UFC, obviously.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? Best director in the world. Chloe Zhao. So I think Kevin Feige traded a lot on that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's worked.
No.
I don't think it's worked. And I take your point that yes, it's still got a very good audience rating. Most people, I'm guessing, because I think it's skewed though, because obviously it's an MCU movie. So some people are gonna still, What are your thoughts on this, Leon?
Me, I'll watch it when it comes.
Yeah,
but I'm not overly excited about it. It's one of those.
Yeah,
I take it or leave it. If something else comes out, they probably get priority. But if I'm just, it's out now, let me have a look.
It's
there was this big hype, Eternals, and then for me it just fell flat on its face. So I'm over it now.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
Yeah. You see, for me, like, I was always going to give it a chance because of it. One, it's MCU, so I'm always going to give anything in the MCU a watch, especially the movies, especially in the cinema. And even though it wasn't characters that I was very familiar with. I wasn't very familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy, and look how well that did. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't think any of us was.
No, and I'm a comic book head.
Star-Lord.
I was a comic book head.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew of the characters, but even I thought, how are you going to make a talking tree and a talking raccoon like marketable in a film? Like,
and he did.
And he fucking did it. He killed it. Bro.
Killed it.
2 films. That's why I wanted to give it a chance. But at the back of my mind, especially after we saw the trailer, I was like, I don't think this is going to work. And true to form, I didn't think it worked. And I'm guessing that a lot of people Well, not guessing
Well,
because you
remember,
can see it.
I think we said there's too many people
Yeah, it was
There-
too many
there-
characters.
there was-
for us to invest in.
There was that as well. I'll tell you another thing that I forgot that I was going to discuss with you guys about it, like off camera, when I first saw it, because I basically had nothing to do that day, and I thought, let me go to the cinema and watch this. Right, that's why I didn't even tell you guys I watched it. That's how crap it was. No. But one thing that I will say that I didn't get, that I normally get in my MCU films, was the believability of these people as superheroes.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get that. And that's what got to me. And this is why I feel they shouldn't have used names like Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Because I did not believe them as superheroes. You get guys like Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Chris Evans as Captain America. You get Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. You believe them in that role because they've worked their arse off behind the scenes for months, sometimes years, to get in shape for that character.
And let's not just say the women, the men, because look at Florence Pugh.
Florence
Fully
Pugh.
believe her.
Even apparently, the one who's going to be playing Lady Thor now, Natalie
Portman, yeah.
Natalie Portman. She apparently got in shape for this as well.
Is she?
Yeah.
So
So
Scarlet.
Yeah.
even
Scarlett
Scarlett
does
so,
her thing.
So
She's always believable.
It's not just the guys. I believe her 100%
Yeah,
in Black
100%,
Widow.
yes.
As Damien said, Florence Pugh as well. She did her thing. So yeah, I just didn't believe. And listen, it wasn't just the women. It wasn't just Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek. It was the guys in there as well. Richard Madden, I didn't believe him as a superhero. It just didn't. He was too wooden for me in that film. None of them I believed. I'll be honest with you. I didn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my film. It was different from every other MCU film, but I didn't necessarily see that as a weakness. It was just, for me, certain things that just didn't make the movie work. Yeah, basically. So yeah, I mean, I big, as you said, I'll big her up for a response.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
For the film, for me that was a 5.
Okay.
Yeah, for me. I mean, listen, that's just my.
Yeah.
You might like it. You might like it. I very much doubt it. I very much doubt you would like it. But I'm just saying,
Five.
you know, everyone's different, you know.
Yeah.
And although I will say, when it comes to films, generally speaking, we are
Yeah,
like
we
minded.
usually, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Looking for the same sort of things.
Yeah. So, with that being said, what do you think? Have you guys seen Eternals? And if you have seen it, what did you think of it? And what did you think of Chloe Zhao's response to the criticism? Let us know in the comments down below what you think.